Happy Valentine's, Sipping Streams Tea Tribe. Thank you for joining me for day 4 of the Heart Healthy Tea Challenge. And today you can see this morning I am not at home like I normally am for doing the everyday's challenge that I've done so far. Today I'm actually in a rush to hurry up and get ready for the World Ice Art Championships grand opening, which is this morning. And so I'm pretty involved with my local community here, and it's a passion of mine to share what I love and to contribute however that is, whether it is donating tea for volunteers and champion ice carvers who are going to be starting their competition soon, or whether it is to volunteer my time, but to somehow give back to my local community. So today's topic for day 4 of the Heart Healthy Tea Challenge is community. Now, yesterday we talked about self-care and mindfulness. We had talked about, what it means to be in the moment and be in the now. And that's something I do struggle with daily, is to have that peacefulness where I can reflect on what I'm doing. So that's why I'm so excited about the India trip, because for the India trip I will be completely outside of my regular routine, and I will be forced to be mindful in a new situation, a new culture, and things like that. So, hey, thanks for joining me. But today's focus is a step above that. Yesterday we talked about self-care so we could give back to the people and the community around us. And so for day 4 of the Heart Healthy Tea Challenge, our focus is going to be on community. So if you read my book, The Essence of Tea, The Transformational Journey of a Tea Connoisseur, which is also available on Amazon and Kindle right now, if you've read the book, there's a chapter on community and how community is so important. It is not being involved with the local community to get something back. We give because we have an overflow and abundance of love. And if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to do that. And also, if you surround yourself with negative people or people who bring you down or people who drain you, who just take all the time, also your community that you're surrounded by will also affect you. There's a saying, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. And so recently I've made some life choices and had to decide that some relationships had to be cut off. And it was really hard to do that, or just to be more distant from certain people who were draining my energy, because I know to be an influencer and an impact to my local community and beyond, like all of you out there, I have to work really hard in dedicating my time that is of value. So I have to decide, thank goodness for the mindfulness time, right? To reflect and to choose wisely the time and energy investments that I make. And not as just a business professional, but as an individual, as a human being with one life to live. So it's really up to you to decide those hard choices of who you are going to let be in your inner circle, who is going to be your core group, who are you going to allow to be the 5 people that influence you the most. You are influenced by your coworkers, you are influenced by your kids, and sometimes you can't force people, or no, you shouldn't force people or control people to be a certain way, and so sometimes you're stuck in these certain situations, but you have to make the most of them. There's nobody else who's an excuse. You choose how you want to react, and you choose how you want to influence. But at the same time, that's why yesterday it was so important to talk about mindfulness. So with the Heart Healthy Tea Challenge, we're talking about community and love right now. We're talking about the importance of the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most, your best friends, your mother, your parents, something like that, and making those wise time investments for only the energy or what you're going to get back out of it. So you can only give so much, and if you give 100%, your love tank is empty. I don't know if you've read the book The 5 Love Languages. It's a really good book. It's very powerful, and it talks about people's different love languages and how their energy gets drained and how their love tank gets filled up so they can give and love and things like that. So yesterday we had talked about how it's really important, for self-care, and how the India Tea Tour is going to be a retreat on learning something new, experiencing something new, and then going forth and sharing that out with your local community and your friends at home, and this passion and love and new perspective and cultural exchange that you are now transformed into, essentially. So with today's Valentine's Day, and we're talking about love, and we're talking about our heart and our health, today's focus is definitely on community. So who are the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most? How do they influence you? Do you need to change your relationships? So last night, one of my greatest friends and his family came to visit me, and they had just flown in and surprised me and took me out to dinner and gave me a pre-Valentine's Day dinner. I ended up having to close my business down because I didn't want to turn down this opportunity to be in the moment, to realize this relationship was very important to me, this family relationship. And the whole time at dinner last night, they kept, loving me, just telling me, don't forget your love, Jenny. Don't forget you always have a place with us. Don't forget this and that. Just all these motivational things that I was just like blown away by. Because at first I was hearing it, I was like, oh yeah, that's nice, that's nice. And then I started reflecting after he kept repeating it. And the husband and wife are medical professionals, they're doctors, and they're the best in their field. One of them just got I don't know what you call it, indoctrinated to the royal, the British Royal physicians, something. I'm sorry, I don't really know what it is. But it's this very prestigious, acknowledgement that they got last summer. And they're much older and wiser than I am, and so much more loving and passionate because they've lived this life and they've seen it all. So they just kept encouraging me. And it was almost like at first I was resistant to accepting their love, and I didn't realize it until they repeated it like the 10th time. Jenny, know that you are loved. We love you just to love you. We want nothing in return. We just want you to know and to feel and to realize you always have a place with us. You always have a home. No matter what happens in your life, you can always turn to us. And yes, come and visit us. And they've been asking me to visit them for over 6 years now. They live in Anchorage, Alaska, and in Hawaii because they have a practice in both locations. But, I was just blown away because I knew I was prepping for this today, and I was like, these are part of my family, I need these people in my life, whether I believe it or not, or whatever my self-worth and, self-confidence or esteem is, they, even though I feel like I don't deserve their friendship at all, is, something that they are truly, truly giving to me freely. So consider that. Who in your life absolutely loves you unconditionally? What kind of friends, what kind of family are you surrounded by? So you can also go forth and do the same thing. Not that you're trying to market yourself, not that you're trying to do it out of selfish ambition in any way, but how do you truly love? How do you affect the community around you? So I just really wanted to share about that. So for today's challenge, you have 5 minutes to spend tea time with someone today. A coworker, a family member. Maybe your tea time is having tea while you're talking to your daughter who is 1,000 miles away and she's having tea. Maybe you'll have to do it over the phone. Maybe you'll have to do it virtually. Spend time giving back to somebody else in your life and just taking a moment, almost like mindfulness, pay it forward mindfulness. And then also, I wanted to cover today's topic for the teas, which is not tea at all, but is on Tisanes. So I've been talking about this a little bit all this week about the power of the Camellia sinensis plants. Oh, you said, I did that yesterday. It was good. Awesome. Good, good, good. So, yeah, thank you everyone for joining me and writing in your comments below. And if you have any questions, then I'll definitely write it down below. And I had really good questions yesterday that came in after these videos. So, yeah, just write your questions below or message me and let me know if you have any questions. So one person asked a question about gestational diabetes, which I'm going to answer later on because I definitely want to acknowledge you and I really appreciate you being involved and investing your time right now. Anyways, so we talked about tea, and the tea is from the Camellia sinensis plant, and anything else is a tisane, which is an herbal that's infused in hot water, such as chamomile lavender, which we talked about yesterday, which is slowing us down, bringing down our anxiety level so we can move forward, like slowing down to speed up and to like boost to the next level. We talked about the Chinese tea ceremony yesterday. So today, my focus is on tisanes. I have 2 tisanes that are in the Heart Healthy Tea Kit, if you had purchased that. And it was optional, so if you're still interested in getting the 10 teas that I'm talking about this week, you can go to bit.ly/hearthealthytea, and there's a sign-up form for joining our tea challenge this week, which is a totally free 5-day webinar, essentially, with lots of resources. And I'm so glad that you guys are here getting lots of value out of all of this right now. But anyway, so today's focus is, the first one is the Midnight Sun Herbal Blend. Herbal as in there's no caffeine in it at all, and it's a tisane for sure. It's got orange peels, lemon peels, hibiscus, rose hips, rose petals, and it is super packed with vitamin C, which is great for your heart, and it brings down inflammation. So vitamin C is known for bringing down inflammation. Now that is a power-packed vitamin C, power-packed herbal blend. It tastes amazing, naturally sweet. You don't have to add any sugar to it. You can have it iced if you want to. And because it's naturally sweet, you're not consuming extra sugars, which can cause inflammation. In fact, the local hospital here, the radiology department, buys our hibiscus specifically because hibiscus, which is one of the ingredients in the Midnight Sun Herbal Blend, brings down brings down blood pressure. So when people are about to get scanned, they give them some hibiscus to kind of calm down their blood pressure because people get nervous, and so then their blood pressure goes up when they're getting scanned. So hibiscus is high in vitamin C, and it helps bring down blood pressure. So if you're a person who has extremely low blood pressure, it might affect you in a negative way. I only have a few very tall, they're over 6 feet tall gentlemen who seem to have a problem with hibiscus decreasing their blood pressure too much, and that's because they already have low blood pressure, and probably because they're so tall and gravity pulling on their body, and now that their blood pressure has dropped, so they kind of become lightheaded and dizzy a little bit. So just letting you know, for those of you who do already have low blood pressure, just to know it can decrease it even more. And so Midnight Sun Herbal Blend is extremely, extremely potent in vitamin C. It helps decrease blood pressure. It helps regulate blood sugar also. So if you're a person who, is diabetic, it can help regulate your blood sugar. Another herbal today that we're covering is rooibos. So in my book, I talk about burnout. I talk about not being mindful, not being self-aware, and working way beyond your body's ability to the point where you don't hear your body shouting at you anymore, and so your body revolts and you have to go to the ER 3 times in 2 weeks like I did. So rooibos was an herb, or is an herbal that has very strong natural antihistamine, anti-inflammatory properties. I put it on my mosquito bites in the summertime, and it brings down the itching right away. I don't have to use any Benadryl or anything like that, or anti-itch cream. It's great for like canker sores and lesions because it instantly, on contact, brings down inflammation. It's great for digestive issues because it brings down inflammation, especially if you have ulcerative colitis or Crohn's. And that's why I was talking about that yesterday. Our African Sunset is the only one we ever blended for the purpose of digestive issues that are triggered by stress and anxiety. So we have several customers who have ulcerative colitis and Crohn's who have given us testimonials that they have that condition, and so they actually take it when they are about to have a flare-up or having a flare-up, and instantly it makes the flare-up go away. So I'm like, whoa, that's super powerful. You need to share that with us. I didn't know, because there's no research out there. These are just people's lives, and those are very debilitating, conditions, ulcerative colitis and Crohn's, that can really ruin a person's life. So anyways, that has the African sunset has chamomile and rooibos. And rooibos, when I had used it, I used it because I couldn't even drink water. So I had lesions all down my throat. My immune system completely revolted and shut down, and so I couldn't even drink water, but I knew how powerful rooibos was. I'm not a big fan of the flavor. Well, now I am. I'm okay with it now, but before I wasn't, and so I just drank it purely for medicine's sake, because I couldn't swallow water. Water made my throat burn, but I knew if I steeped a very strong cup of rooibos, it would bring down my inflammation immediately. So that's the only thing that I could drink while I was very sick for 2 weeks, and just had to stay home, and essentially, made me even more behind at work because I didn't slow down to speed up. So anyways, rooibos is very, very powerful. It's great for allergies. It's caffeine-free. It's safe on kids. It naturally tastes a little sweet, and it's a plant that is made in South Africa, or grown in South Africa, and that's the only place where it's grown in the world. But it also has a bunch of power-packed antioxidants that show anti-aging of brain cells. And there's a lot of studies out of Japan and South Africa on anti-aging of the brain, and also like healing different parts of the body by just putting it on topically. So great for rashes, seasonal allergies, things like that. So today I just covered about the importance of CommuniTea, which I'm about to go to the World Ice Art Championships today for their grand opening in a couple hours, and because of my local community involvement with that. And also, we just talked about a tisane, or 2 tisanes, and how they work and how they can help your heart and help your well-being. So go forth, do your challenge, post it, and let me know. Hashtag it #SSHealthyTea or #SippingStream so I can find it, give you points so that you can win prizes today. And for those of you also in the private Facebook group, the Sipping Streams Tea Tribe, I'll see you there in a couple hours.